question number 1, any evidence for eating the rainbow, i.e. any unique benefits of a range of colored fruit and vegetables, question mark, phytonutrients, red flag, question mark. I like the inclusion of the red flag. Because like, how did you find that emoji like on like Microsoft Word?
It's so hot right now.
It is so hot, but I'm just like, this is in your Google Docs.
Yeah.
So Google knows. That's impressive. In general, I would want people to eat a wide variety of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, lean proteins, all that sort of stuff as part of a health-promoting dietary pattern. I think when people ask this question, what they really mean is, in a given day or in a week, do I really need to have X amount of variation in my vegetable intake or fruit intake? And the answer to that is no. You can have a highly repeatable diet. I think that as the seasons change and as different fruits and vegetables come into and go out of season, altering them based on your dietary preferences and what's available to you is preferable. But I'll end this, at least this first part, by saying I don't know that if you have a much higher variation of vegetable intake compared to a lower variation of vegetable intake, but the overall fiber intake and number of servings is the same, if there's a unique benefit there. And I certainly don't think that is, accessible for a lot of people to, eat a super wide range of vegetables and fruits, because it's not even accessible for a lot of people to eat fresh fruits and vegetables, period. So as far as phytonutrients, are they a thing? Yes, in fact, phytonutrients, flavonoids and all these other different components of fruits and vegetables that seem to have unique health-promoting effects are in fact real. And it's one of the reasons why we don't see the relationship between supplemental dietary fiber and good health outcomes. We don't see the same sort of relationship that we see with people who actually eat more fruits and vegetables, save for like the LDL or lipid lowering effect that we see with high amounts of supplemental dietary fiber. So when people are having a problem meeting their sort of daily fiber goal and their first itch is to like reach for supplemental dietary fiber, I usually try to find solutions or try to find solutions to consume more fruits and vegetables, because I think there are unique health promoting effects there compared to consuming supplemental dietary fiber. If you have want to lower your lipids, triglycerides much further, and you can use high amounts of supplemental dietary fiber to do so, that works. But as far as the other like health promoting effects of fruits and vegetables, they do seem to be unique to consuming dietary fiber from them.
Yeah, I agree that consuming a variety of fruits and vegetables, varying colors when you can, to the extent you can, is in general a good recommendation. I did want to tackle this latter part of the question because it seems like they're asking phytonutrients with the red flag emoji. Is it like they're asking, is this something that should be a red flag for like quackery or something like that? And this is like definitely no. Phytonutrients are basically non-energy containing nutrients that are unique to certain plant sources, meaning they don't provide calories, but they are other plant compounds that do have biological effects in the body and have health impacting effects, present primarily in plant foods. Like you mentioned, flavonoids, polyphenols are another one. These are some of the things that are present in things like olive oil, like dark chocolate, cruciferous vegetables, dark berries, things like that have plenty of these in particular. There's tons of foods that have them. That's just a few common examples. Some of them have been studied for, unique benefits of some of these compounds in the context of cardiovascular disease or like dementia risk and things like that. I don't think it's worth going way too far down the rabbit hole of worrying about it at that level, rather just recognizing that these things exist, they're real, they're not a red flag for a quack who's talking about them, and you should consume a wide variety of them. But as it pertains to these sort of plant components, what is more of a red flag, and I think this is worth addressing, is if you hear people talk about things like quote unquote anti-nutrients that are present in plant foods, or lectins, or phytates, or other things like that, that truly are real things that exist and they're present in plant foods. And you will hear certain folks talk about these things, in particular carnivore dieters. They talk about these things as things that are present in plants that were effectively because plants are trying to not get eaten. And so they're trying to poison animals so that they don't get eaten. And they basically use this to make an argument that vegetables are toxic. This is literally a thing that certain carnivore diet proponents will say, and that you should avoid all vegetables because they contain these sort of anti-nutrients, right? And while some of these compounds are a real thing, one of the most common issues that is a big red flag with these people who are in these diet circles is they tend to find some sort of a biological mechanism like this, be it a quote-unquote anti-nutrient kind of effect, or they may find some sort of a petri dish type mechanism and blow it way out of proportion, ignoring all the evidence for benefit in real world outcomes of people consuming lots of vegetables, right? Same thing happens when they talk about polyunsaturated fatty acids. They say, there's this one possible mechanism that a polyunsaturated fatty acid could contribute to inflammation, and ignore all the evidence that they do not increase inflammation, they do not increase heart disease, they do not increase these things. And the same thing applies here. So I wanted to say, obviously the phytonutrient thing, real thing, beneficial compounds, worth eating lots of vegetables. What is a red flag is this other side that you will come across if you read probably more than you should about nutrition on the internet.
Yep. Mechanistic studies, clinical outcome studies.
Yes, much heavier weight. We put a lot more weight on studies that actually look at real human outcomes rather than potential petri dish type of mechanisms and things like that.
Yeah, while interesting.
Hypothesis generating, that's what we call those.
Not interesting enough.
All right.